Grand Rising, Grand Rising. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show. My name is Andre Hill, and I'm your host of the Straight Talk Morning Show on the Straight Talk Network. Hopefully soon we will have our Facebook Straight Talk page back. But of course, you can watch us on YouTube and to the link in our Facebook page. We have our host, co-host, Chairman Terrence Lake and Andre Hill Jr. How you doing this morning, sir?
Grand Rising, everyone. I'm doing fine. Got a big party going on the day after the 4th of July. My stepson is having a 40th birthday party. So people are coming in and going out, but mostly coming in. So hope I'm in my bedroom. I don't get distracted. But other than that, it's a beautiful day here in the Motor City area.
So, in other words, you got good weather.
Great, great weather. It's not in the hundreds. Hasn't been for a week, so that's real good.
Right. All right. So also we have our engineer and co-host Andre Hill Jr. What's going on, man?
Everything is all right. Everything's all right. Just keeping it simple and just kind of going with the flow, scratching things off the check to-do list. Everything good.
All right. Well, we got an interesting show. All our shows are interesting, but this one here, this should be a show that we're all concerned about, or the topic, the subject matter we should be concerned about. And we are looking at the big, beautiful bill that was passed. What does it really mean for true Aboriginals, melanated people of the Americas? I understand that this is the final line in the sand. Also, this is kind of a situation where it's pretty blatant, where it's either you serve Lucifer or you lose your benefits. And I believe that this bill is posturing itself in that position. But the liberal part of me comes out from time to time, and I have to weigh both ends of the scale, because when you look at both of the parties, the Democratic and the Republican parties, the Democrats, they went along with this mentality of white supremacy. They were complicit with it. And so now, they are wondering why, they got voted out and being voted over by the Republican Party. So it makes you think about, if the Democrats want to get back in power, if they want to get in power, now they might be complicit with this whole game, and understanding that the true Aboriginals of this land were held back, were suppressed, with the knowledge of them were erased. It seems like the Democratic Party would start focusing on, reversing the curse and get involved in some serious reparations. And I don't mean writing a check to everybody in the Americas, all the true Aboriginal people, because under these circumstances, if you just write them checks, that money is going to go right back into this economic design that will absorb the money, and then when they run out of money, it's pretty much like what the so-called Native Americans that got a check, they got a reparations check, instead of the true Aboriginals. They end up drinking the money up or spending it on cars and things like that. And the question is, do they have anything to show for it other than the land that was considered tribal land, or they call it, what do they call it? Reservations.
Reservations.
Yeah. So but this is a bill that we're going to take a look at today and give everybody a chance, an opportunity to chime in on it. From the chairman's perspective and also from Andre Jr.'s perspective, from his generation, how they see these things coming about. Chairman, have you been keeping tabs on this particular bill?
Well, to be honest, no, because like I say, I was been very busy this past week, more busier than what I would like to be. I haven't even watched television, to be honest with you. You know, so I'm out of the loop in that respect, but I'm quite sure you guys will fill me in for sure.
Absolutely. We got a video that we're going to queue up. Hey, Julian, do you are you familiar with what the so-called big beautiful bill is all about? And some of the Republicans that voted for the bill said I hadn't read it all myself, but they just voted for it because that's what they was instructed to do. Anybody in your generation understand what this bill about, man?
I mean, let's be honest. How many bills and how many bills has anybody read thoroughly before they voted for it?
True.
The history of bill passing. No, I mean, let's be honest. Most bills probably maybe around 1,000 pages, right? And it would take some dedication to sit down and really thumb through it. But the average American, the average group of Americans are not trained, not conditioned, not prepared to do those kinds of things. Even if you start to read it, the language in it, so it's just drafted in such a technical way that the reading gets boring. If they were reading it, it wouldn't be entertained by it. That's why most people want to read nowadays. They want to be entertained. So if they were reading it, they'd get turned off by the technical writing pattern of it. Probably stop, halfway through. But long story short, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, what about the interns? Wouldn't they designate an intern to try to read the majority and give them some feedback on it?
I would. I agree with that. Right. I agree with that. I mean, but how many let's say committees that we say, all right, we're going to dedicate y'all group from the committee. We're going to y'all gonna be dedicated to thumbing through this bill and bringing out or identifying the primary issues of it, and whether we're gonna vote on it or not. Now, on the same token, I think we also have to get a real good look at our government system when it comes to passing bills. When we the American people, I don't recall getting an option to vote yes or no on a big beautiful bill. How does that forgive me for being ignorant on it? Did the people vote for it, or did the House, Senate? How did that work, right? So again, that's a legislation that's happening on a level that we're not understanding, and then also for the most part, the masses are not understanding the investment from oligarchs, deep state behind it. So long story short, my generation, based on what I do know about it, it potentially messing with Medicaid, Medicare, and just different welfares that the government, on the federal level and the state level offer. Yeah, some people are concerned, some people, but for the most part, my generation is gearing up to not even have Social Security checks coming when we get a certain age. So we already in a different state of mind about how we're going to live from here on out and survive, basically.
All right. So while you load that video up, I'm going to talk about the second half of the show. Also, part 3 of what happens to people or systems that transgress against star seeds, the true chosen ones. I can testify on this one. Change your frequency or perish. Tune in and be enlightened. So we're going to hit some serious topics because we're still at the point where we got to make some hard choices on how we're going to navigate through this final episode of the United States of Corporate America. You ready to load this video up?
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Because the Supreme Court just took away lower court's ability to stop him. And if you don't believe me, let me show you how this became real after the Trump v. Casa birthright citizenship case. So in Trump v. Casa, the Supreme Court ruled that federal judges cannot issue nationwide injunctions or universal injunctions against Trump executive orders except with class action lawsuits. And those can take a while to be certified, those class action lawsuits. That means even if Trump signs an unconstitutional, unlawful executive order, judges can only protect the people who are named in the lawsuit or members of the certified class action lawsuit. Everyone else, they're vulnerable. Even if what Trump does is blatantly unconstitutional or illegal. So, can Trump deport Black American citizens lawfully? No. But that's not the question anymore, because he doesn't need to act lawfully if there are no judges that can stop him. In fact, Justice Jackson warned, she said in her dissent, quote, "The executive can now deny people rights that the founders plainly wrote into our Constitution, so long as those individuals have not found a lawyer." And Justice Sotomayor said, quote, "No right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates," close quote. She said no right, that means no citizenship right, no civil right, no voting rights, etc. Folks, that's not theory. That's not me pontificating. That's the reality that we're living in now. Additionally, back in March, Trump told El Salvador's president he would be deporting homegrown criminals. He didn't say immigrants. He said homegrown. That means people born in the United States. So if he targets Black Americans as criminals or gangbangers or threats or enemies, etc., what's stopping him from issuing an executive order to detain or to deport those people? Nothing. That puts Black Americans and any other targeted group in danger. This is why they say elections have consequences, folks. So remember, stay woke. Can Trump deport?
Okay. So we have to look at the long term of where this is going. If you think about Israel and Gaza, and how our shadow government has been supporting this Jewish movement to just go in, blow up the whole country of Gaza, and then just come to a conclusion that because they rebel against the invasion of settlers just moving in, taking over their property, and they rebelled against it. They, just like any group, just like we had the Black Panthers, supposedly the NAACP. Well, that's they have totally decimated Gaza, and now have the audacity to say that we're going to move you to some other countries after you have been raised up there for generations. So that mentality is a low frequency mentality that does not respect the balance of laws, the balance of the laws of the universe. And they're going to try you. They're going to test you until you say no. we're not going along with this. Chairman, what do you think about what this brother is saying with the laws?
Well, I wasn't fully understanding where he was coming from, but as far as deporting people, that's illegal, especially if you're born in the United States. There's got to be some lawyer to take your case, to plead for you. Now I can understand immigrants from another country coming into the United States, but the United States is based on, you know, immigrants that have gotten their legal citizenship to do the will of voting to make changes for the betterment of society, and for Trump to just go against that, he's gonna create anarchy, because they're not sending me nowhere. I'm not saying I wouldn't go to Africa, but if they were trying to send me to South America or something, they got a fight on their hands, a big fight. All my people are here, you know. So some things we allow to happen, but if we come together, we can protest, and stop this, because if it happened to me, it could happen to you and anyone else. So people got to recognize, strength is in unity. If you don't come together, they can do anything they want to do in the heat of the night. They get you and take you to court, and everybody's sleeping and wake up and, oh, okay, where's Terry? I don't know. They didn't ship them off somewhere. And people just, I don't know, and keep on living their life. But we got to be more concerned about what's really going on behind closed doors. I'll land that plane.
Well, so Chairman, we have to apply some common sense to this entire scenario. I don't believe that the Trump movement, the mentality, just sprung up overnight. This was planned even back when he developed his television show, You're Fired.
Yeah.
This plan that we're experiencing now goes all the way back to beyond that show. The real shadow government behind the scene, they have been planning this all the way to, and they understand that in order for them to maintain power, the illusion, but the illusion is dissipated now. So there's no longer we're gonna fool you with Christmas, Easter, and all these other illusions. They just coming straight out saying
in your face.
and so a lot of our people, and this is why we do this show. We're bringing this to this point. A lot of our people just la 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 with their head in the ground, with their head in the sand, and just say, well, I'm gonna turn it over to Jesus, And then when they find out that Jesus was made up by the Catholic Church, who was created by Lucifer, then that's gonna really destroy your faith, So we're doing this show to give you the true essence of the Supreme Being and how we're gonna tap into that frequency to shut this evil down. But the entities that plan all of this up to now, they understand that they can continue to operate through illusions and fear, and by creating fear, if you don't bow down and worship to the illusionary king, if you talk against the king, then he's going to use his powers, executive orders, to remove you from the land that your ancestors were planted here by the Most High. So but we're gonna keep working with this here. So hey son, what are your thoughts after you've seen this video? He's removed the lower court's ability to file injunctions or block you unless you have hired an attorney and part of a class action suit. He can just write an executive order and say, well, you committed crimes against the United States or corporate America, so I'm deporting you to another land. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, for one, we're gonna have to take, a real close look at the language. Just like I was saying before, we're gonna have to really thumb through that to see what that really says. But either way, in the event, in the event that um, uh, certain demographics start getting targeted and deemed as criminal individuals and or organizations. I mean, look, this ain't the first time in history, uh, you know, tyrannical regimes of government, started targeting particular groups. I mean, imagine especially as Aboriginals, Indigenous, and melanated folk, we got a long history of it dealing with this country. Now, I want to bring up this point. ICE just I believe, went up to Brooklyn and tried to deport some Haitians or something like that. I forget. Either way, they went to Brooklyn. It don't even matter what group it was. It went to Brooklyn, New York. Went in there, tried to round some people up and deport, and they got their ass kicked. That's the kind of mentality everybody needs to have. Listen, because we got to think of it like this. All right, yeah, we've got the president, then he's got his staff on down, which is going to give orders to whatever military or police task force. We got to remember those military and police task force are regular people.
Yeah.
They are regular people. And so it's two ways simultaneously we can handle it. First, for one way is, we had to really, pierce the heart of someone who wants to sign up to say, yeah, I'll sign up to deport people from their own land, and truly identify those type of people. And we got to stop being, complacent and say, all right, so who's even capable? Identify these people. Who's even capable of signing up and then taking some orders like that blindly and just following through on it? We had to really take a look. I mean, because mind you, as Americans, we let a lot of stuff slide, but we've got a lot of family members in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do we really think that the military, the everyday people in the military are going to say, you know what, I'm just going to follow orders and start rounding up people who will potentially be, even if they're not my personal family, they may be family members of somebody else that I'm serving with. I mean, is that really going, is that really going to make sense? Other way is, yeah, I mean, if you don't listen, I forget old boy's name who said this in American history, but either give me liberty or give me death. That's how we got to be thinking here at all times from this point on. If a task force of whoever comes in and starts trying to round your people up, like Chairman said, they better have a fight on their hands to the death.
So let's deal with the question you just put out for. The salary range for ICE agents varies based on experience, location, and specific roles, but generally falls between $48,371 a year and $167,603. So these guys are going in the gym, buffing up, taking steroids, and they're going for the money.
Sure.
That's pennies. That's pennies though. And
for the soul. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man, that's pennies for the soul. And so, my last suggestion would be this. Now, mind you, what I do like about what's going on in America, I mean, we've got a culture, or we're developing more of a culture of, getting in the gym, staying fit, and even getting active on, either, some level of hand-to-hand combat and or arms training, right? Long story short, I think that's where we at with it. Americans, Black, otherwise, you gonna have to start rounding your people up, right? Well, in other words, building some networks of friends and family and constituents, so that in the event that certain groups start getting targeted, we can be like, well, y'all can roll up here if you want to, but like Chairman said, it's about to be a fight on your hands. It's about to be a fight on your hands. I guarantee you. Again, like I was saying in the beginning, a majority, or at least half, of whoever signing up for that task force, that military task force, will have to sit back and say, hey, is this, this is 2025. Is it really worth my soul at this point? And the other ones be like, well, I just don't want to get my ass kicked. That's like, I was expecting them going here with a group of people who were armed, and go pick up some people who ain't armed. That's because nobody likes to go to war against another equal threat. It's like people only like to go to war with somebody they can just, in other words, they want to minimize casualties, right? They want to minimize casualties. I mean, it don't matter how big and bad you are, nobody like to actually be in a shootout. Nobody wants the threat of actually getting shot. That hurts. All right. So saying all that to say this, just to minimize the fear in people. Yeah, don't fear that type of thing. Just begin to get ready, or if you've been ready. Now some people say I stay ready. That way you ain't got to get ready. If to maintain that posture, we're gonna be all right. I don't think they're gonna be able. I mean, I don't think Trump's regime wants to start targeting Black people and deporting them also for this reason. If you start deporting Black people, that gives every other country absolutely no incentive to not bomb this country, because we the only one standing in the way of everybody else not liking this country. Let this be a country full of racist, middle and upper class Caucasians. This country wouldn't last. Right? This country will last. The entire world will come down on it. So I don't think they want to do that.
So now, Chairman, we as elders, we have to think about the chessboard, the chess move in this situation. Back to all of these policemen have been given incentives to kill Black folks in the street, and that all of that was designed to initiate what they call a race war, so that the shadow government can do what you call implement what they call martial law. And several times that this has happened, it did not ignite the so-called race war that will give them the powers to implement martial law. So they're hoping that we retaliate and pull together an arms movement to rebuke or reject, and then move into a revolutionary situation where there's a lot of carnage. Now you have to look at the composition of the shadow government. You got some reptilians, you got some other kind of aliens, and they like to see carnage, death, murder. And so by them stimulating this is how they feed off that energy to give them strength, because of their metaphysical biological design. They feed off of fear, death, murder, corruption, So we have an option, fall into that trap with these beings, or we can start operating on a higher frequency to invoke the powers of the Most High, because right now we've been discombobulated. The United States military, they've developed all this weaponry. We don't have the time to put together a movement to start building weapons, or ships, or planes, and bullets, and all that to fight, a war against these mentally challenge young men and women that are signing up with ICE and our cousins and brothers and sisters that, because they intentionally shut the economic system down so that it will force you into the military. We have to look at our options here. So, are we going to be putting those children in a position to have to kill us, to contain us? Because the administration already proved that they will call up the military, which is a violation of the War Powers Act, I think. But it's some kind of law that was put in place where the military should never be turned on its own people. So this brings us back to the point: do we choose to go post up physical to physical, or do we take the high road and tap into a higher spiritual level? And I'm not talking about what the church has been preaching, especially Black folks, for the last several hundred years. Just pray to Jesus. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. When you pray to that entity was created by the Catholic Church, and who was created by the low frequency entities known as the Luciferian agenda. So praying to that entity is you're not accomplishing anything. But if you join in a collective group of positive people, and again, we talked about it on last week's show, and start tapping into higher frequencies and calling on those entities to come in and intervene, you're going to get some results. And because that demon knows, they know that they don't have the technology to post up against those advanced beings. What do you think, Chairman?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you hit it right on the head when you said about the higher level of intelligence that, basically surveying this whole planet, you know, and our government know that they exist because they're not having all these meetings in Washington just to, have meetings and drink coffee. They're trying to deal with this situation. How are they going to deal with these extraterrestrials? They don't know how, but they know the existence of them. And like you say about the race war, you got some of those backwood, call them as I see them, the hillbillies. They are the ones that are trying to provoke a situation because of that situation down in South Carolina, that church, that one boy came in there and killed those people. What they do, some of them took them out to lunch. Now, I ain't saying they're all that way because you know how I stand on that. But there are enough that are that way that can cause a serious problem in the United States. And some things, Blacks gonna have to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that militia groups are the way of the United States. You might join the military and be a part of an organization, but these militia groups in the backwoods, now they're a force to deal with, and it's a bunch of them, you know. But a lot of us, especially young folks, just hanging around on the corner, smoking weed and acting crazy. They ain't got no defense at all. Anybody can just run through there and take them out just like rats or something like that, But there's a lot we got to start meeting and coming together to protect our neighborhood. Our neighborhood is important. Our children are important. That's our future generation, But we better wake up and smell the roses because there's a lot of things going on that Trump is trying to implement, but he knows who to mess with and who not to mess with too. You see, I bet you he won't go in China talking no stuff. I mean, some folks in China fear Trump because they know that it would be horrible if we did get into conflict. But hey, it could happen, and it's going to be a lot of upset people. I just hope it never does. I hope the people wake up, come to their senses, unify, and create this heavenly environment that we were put here to do. That's what we need to do.
So, Chairman, you know, a couple of weeks ago, we played a video about this Hispanic woman saying that Hispanic people stood back and watch us get dogged out and just eased in and start saying, well, we're just going to get these jobs that they are taking from you guys, or we're going to take advantage of all of the benefits that were designated for in the form of a true reparations for Black folk. And so you know, this sister, she said they picked the wrong team, and this is this administration is a representation that they picked the wrong team. So I'm going to issue a guarantee, you know, to our people. She basically said that Black people are the only ones that can save this situation right now. So let me, you know, and a lot of sportscasters or boxers, you know, they are very reluctant to issuing guarantees. I guarantee we're gonna win or something on that order, but I'm gonna issue a guarantee. All right, if you original melanated Aboriginal people of the Americas who was reclassified as Negroes to take away your true nationality of this land being the original land of your ancestors. When you put aside all of your little petty differences among each other, I'm talking about the Aboriginals right now. I'm not talking about the Caucasians and the Hispanics and all that. I'm talking about the core group who can fix this problem. When you put aside all the divisive measures, your degrees, your sororities, your different church titles, and all of that madness, and say, we are the Aboriginals of the America, and the only reason the Catholic Church was able to conquer us a few thousand years ago is because we were so divided.
Yes.
When we decide to put aside all of those divisive measures and come together and say, we're going to start loving each other unconditionally. We're going to start treating each other the way we want to be treated. We're going to start respecting that every human being has a particular talent to offer to the whole. So I'm not going to say, I got a PhD and you only have a 6th grade education. That makes me better than you. When you remove all those devices and come back and develop a metaphysical, that means supernatural consciousness of understanding the balance of the universe, you, just by saying, yeah, we're gonna do that, that will send a message to the guardians of the Most High with the advanced technology, far more advanced than anything that the Pentagon has ever had hands on, because they know not to let them have advanced technology, because they, you know, most of the Caucasians that were in these ranks were installed there. You have to remember that phenol code is only 6,600 years old. It took 1,000,000 years to develop the mitochondrial DNA of a Black woman. So therefore, they have a savage mentality. They got to kill to survive. They got to murder, rape, steal, lie, cheat in order to survive on a level playing field. So when all you Aboriginals have to do, and not only here in the Americas, but all over the planet, and Africa is waking up to it, just come together, put aside the BS, like the PhD piled up high, the BS bullshit, the BA, and you know, all that. Put all that aside, and say whether you have the ability to photographic memory to remember a bunch of BS or not. Every human has something to contribute to the whole. You put that aside and start working on the frequency of the Most High. They will intervene immediately. We demonstrated it last week. We always said was we're gonna stop praying to an illusionary image that a savior that the Catholic Church created, and we're gonna go beyond that illusion and tap into the source of the Most High, which is also inside of you, and say we're not going along with this. And to the Most High, we ask you humbly to remove these demons from our planet. They will act on it immediately. Now that's a guarantee. It's not a proposal or maybe, it's all you got to do is remove those divisive measures. Just do it for a week and look and watch the results. I guarantee you the Most High will demonstrate. That's a guarantee. So, but we're gonna keep it moving. So here's something that we want to bring some clarity. What this administration is doing, they're playing it, and they'll keep you flat-footed by saying, well, we're cutting these benefits to the illegal aliens and all that. But when you give them the authority to do it to anybody, they're going to eventually do it to you if you are not beholden to their king, to their God, Lucifer, or their agenda to enslave you as a species. They're going to move in that direction unless you stop it. And you cannot stop it praying to a God or illusion they created. This is a guarantee. I'm sharing with you. So on that note, we're gonna help fortify in this next topic about the star seed. Hey man, you can start loading that video. We're gonna fortify how powerful you have beings on this planet right now. And we refer to them as star seeds, chosen ones. They volunteered to come to this planet to help you get through this maze, because Lucifer and his crew, they had advanced technology to fool you. But there are star seeds that are here right now on this planet. They were born into human bodies, and they were always the different ones, the odd ones in the family. But they have a purpose and a mission here. And that's for them to come together and manifest by example how we're going to rebuke, reject, kick out, evict these demons that were brought here and allowed to come here for one reason. That's to test you, to force you to respect the laws of the universe and those 3 items that I just talked about. You got to load it up, man? Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to play the video, but this lady was speaking on the chosen ones, right? She was speaking on how she did something to a chosen one and was warned not to do it. Now, I need y'all to make sure y'all watch this to the end, and also this will bring a perspective to those of you guys that are out there moving in a negative fraction, moving in a negative light, especially when you thinking of doing something to those that are chosen. Things will happen to you. I need y'all to listen to what this lady is saying very carefully, and also just make sure you watch the surroundings, okay? Because when you do things to people, when it returns to sender, you'll get it tenfold, especially this year.
Guys, there's this video right here that's been floating around, and I think that people should know if this is real or not. I don't know. I really don't know. But check this out.
Up our lives coming after this chosen one, and we could have checked and we didn't, and we just took their word like it was so persuasive. They were so angry, so hung up on destroying this person and the money that was promised to us. Who could turn that down? I mean, it's over $1 million bounty on this girl's head, and they've been warned to leave her alone, and they still are just diligent with the attacks. A lot of karmics are looking like this. I mean, me, you know, the sicknesses are starting to show on the outside because they're still lying and they're still attacking people spiritually. So it's starting to manifest. We messed up our lives coming after.
Yo.
So with that being said, y'all, karma, she is real. Now, I don't know if this video is real, but karma is real. And I hope y'all listen to what this lady said. What'll happen to you? If y'all are picking up what I am putting down in this video, share the video. Also, let me know how y'all feel about this video in the comments. Knowledge is wisdom and wisdom is power, people. Peace.
All right. So, Chairman, the message was a little distorted. I don't know if people heard it as clear, but
Right.
basically, this woman was saying that they, which is the Luciferian agenda, offered them some money to destroy this woman, and they, unbeknownst to them, the woman was the individual. I wasn't quite sure. Was a starseed. Starseed meaning a benevolent soul that came here to help out your species. Pretty much like what a Christ being is, you know. And so when they were offered money and positions and grants to attack this person, they started having problems. They started getting sick, you know. And so I'm just, from my personal experience, I'm going to tell you it's real. I experienced it. I had a child care up in Nashville that we provided excellent service. We fed children. We took care of them. We loved them. And those demons, I call them the Dixie Mafia in the Tennessee government, came after us and said, well, we want to take over these programs because we don't want you sharing love to these melanated children. And so they came after our daycare and to shut us down, paying off different people to sabotage us and do anything that they can. And so I'll tell you, one of the Black women I found out later that was initiated, that was paid money, and she told me to her face, Mr. Hill, I got to do what I got to do to get my paycheck. She is no longer on the physical plane. She's passed. Also in the city of Nashville, and the first time in history, not just because of me, because of what our employees were providing to those babies. A tornado hit downtown Nashville, tore up everything. And our children's bus was parked downtown. The storm went around the bus, hit everything around it, and left our bus intact. This is real. Nashville, they kept doing their evil. They got flooded. They kept on doing evil. A bomb blew up in downtown Nashville, down there off of, what's that main corridor down there?
Second Avenue.
Second Avenue blew up. And I still don't think they get it today. I still think that they're continuing to invoke that evil. And so these are just little things that I witnessed as a starseed, you know, as a chosen one. And let me explain something to you. I chose this. Wherever I came from to be here to help elevate this, I am not to be worshiped, edified. I chose this as a volunteer for my spiritual development. But when I make that decision, or when we make that decision, and we come here to help the species, help elevate their frequencies so that they can restore balance on the planet, and when you mess with us, you come to a deadly end, some serious consequences. Now that's that's what I said in the post on Friday. That's my experience. I have many more, but that was a key one that I had to confess about what I experienced on. So I'm saying to you, melanated people, when you out of jealousy, envy, and insecurities work against star seeds, your own people that's here to help get you through this maze, you're gonna have experience some serious difficulty. Whatever money they promise you to turn against your own people, against your own creator for your own selfish goal, it is not worth it. I promise you it's not worth it. Chairman, do you have any stories similar to that?
I have to go into the archives, you know. Yeah, as far as stories to that. Repeat that question one more time because you had my mind just way out there in left field. You
So,
know.
so in your life, you've had situations where you've been benevolent, because I know you're a star child, but you have a particular uh, mission and challenge that you chose, you know, as a star child.
Yes.
People that have transgressed against you, have you seen them prosper or seen them demise, fall apart?
Yes, yes. You know, I could bring a certain situation out when I was shot at the age of 19 years old. The guy that shot me, he's no longer with us, but he lived a horrible life with diabetes, and he was on the dialysis, and he suffered for many years. And maybe about 10, 15 years ago, he passed away. But now his little brother started the stuff, and his little brother died before he did. You know, so I look at that as, you know, karma, you know, because I didn't start anything with him. His little brother started it, but he's being a big brother trying to protect his brother, right or wrong. You know, sometimes you can't get in the wrong to make something right, because wrong is wrong. And they suffered. And I've heard stories, you know. I know they're not here anymore.
Hey, okay, Chairman. So it's just a confirmation that we you know, in terms of your life experiences. So, hey, Junior, have you experienced the laws of karma before?
You mean, yeah, have I?
Well, you've been flying, you know, beneath my wings for most of your life.
Well, you know, individually,
Yeah.
right? No, because I don't really look for them, right? But just to end this note, because I know we got one more topic, one more video to show, and just to confirm what you're saying, have seen it, you know, overall, that, you know, the concepts of karma are real, and I know a lot of people sometimes get discouraged because they say, well, I don't think the karma came quick enough, right? But you know, this small amount of time that we spend on this planet is not enough time to you know, our time span is small and minute in comparison to the Most High in the universe's time span on when it comes to curating the calculated scheme of karma. Right?
Very true.
You know, so you know, just because you may not see, you know, the justice, you know, in whatever due time you think is right, or even in your lifetime, just trust and know that, you know, what goes up must come down. So yeah, just have knowledge and faith in that at the same time.
So the purpose for me bringing this topic up is because one, we've been calling on all the star seeds to go to our website and reach out to us. We've updated it with some phone numbers where you can call us directly. If at least by Monday, I know we've added some, they should be showing on the website. You need to get with us. If you're a star seed, the program is the star seeds must come together as a collective. If the Most High will intervene just on our little daycare on that level. Can you imagine if 10 star seeds came together and start manifesting a high frequency that we're going to do right by the universe? You know, and this is the reason why we brought this topic up. And you know, we are required now to come together as a team, put on your uniform, bring your playbook, and learn your position and get ready to follow through. I mean, otherwise you travel many light years to come to this planet and your mission is at hand and you're going to walk away from the mission. I don't think so. So we're calling on the starseeds. To humans that don't understand quite what we're talking about with the starseeds, you know, we are hoping and manifesting a positive consciousness that you understand that the Most High does love you, they're concerned about you, and they have provided systems to help you, guide you along the way. And I promise you, they are far more advanced than any one of these idiots that are operating on this planet with their little technology that they think they have. They think that they're superior, think that they got the psychology, the psych ops operating in a manner where you're going to submit to them and worship them. And so we're here to help you. And we're here also to let you know that when these starseeds try to help you, don't be hating on them. You know, give them your love, give them your energy. Don't be worried about, well, they might get rich. No, starseeds ain't here to get rich. We're here to complete our mission. But you know, well, let's share this video to give you a sense of the Catholic Church, who created the illusion of your Jesus Christ and these churches and these limited books to keep you ignorant. This will explain how much the Catholic Church knows and how much technology they've had access, and even how they were allowed to do these things to you by the Most High just to test you and force you to start loving each other.
The Vatican is hiding this from us. For centuries, the Vatican has been at the epicenter of religious authority, wealth, and mystery, but they are holding a secret far more extraordinary than we could even imagine. Deep beneath the Vatican, below even the archives, lies a secret stargate, a portal capable of transporting individuals across space and time. This stargate is guarded by the highest levels of the Catholic Church and is the key to humanity's connection with otherworldly beings. But where did the Vatican get hold of such technology? Early civilizations used to walk amongst gods, and as a byproduct, ended up possessing advanced technologies from these beings. The ancient Egyptians talk about devices capable of opening gateways to other realms, with access being restricted to the users who had genetically encoded a Jed Ankh. The Vatican have been collecting these technologies since time itself began, and many claim that they have also had a hand in many civilizations' demise. But here is where it gets even crazier. The Jesuits claim that their Stargate was a gift from these extraterrestrials, and claim they were selected to inherit, guide, and influence the course of human history. The Vatican also claims that they are protecting humanity from potentially destabilizing knowledge. The Vatican is hiding this from us for centuries.
Okay. So, hey, man, June, you want to expand on what your thoughts are from that?
I don't think there's a star portal at the bottom of the Vatican. I'll explain why. You know, one thing I do know about certain, just to keep it straight, certain European groups, they do a lot of fantasizing, technological fantasizing, and hopes to have some kind of proximity to it so they can seem superior. Right. In other words, you know, the aliens gave technology to us because we're the most, you know, civilized and superior race on the planet. But I do believe, and what I do believe, I'll say it like that because I ain't never been to the Vatican. They do have the a massive amount of indigenous technology in those vaults down there, along with whole libraries of information that was stolen and brought them back. And we talked a lot about the origins of the Vatican, or let's say just the, Roman Catholicism in our book, the origin of it, and it leading back to those old ancient, quote unquote, extraterrestrials, the Anunnaki. All right. So at some point in time, if you follow that story, it was very blatant and obvious that they all went. When I say they, I mean those elite reptilians, those Anunnaki, whatever they are, they went covert, incognito at one point. In other words, at one point in time, the God of all Abrahamic religion, aka Yahweh, he had a name. Name was Yahweh, and at some point he said, well, I don't want y'all calling my name no more. It's gonna be God. We're not going to be identifiable anymore. We're just going to go under one banner, which is God, and but even in the Bible, as it says, in Genesis, God is relayed as plural, right? If we give them this information, then they may be gods like us, essentially. So, long story short, I do think, that the Vatican is holding hostage, and not by any legal karmic decree either. In other words, universally, illegally holding a lot of indigenous technology and information from around the planet. Yeah, I think so.
Chairman, what do you think?
I second that. From the literature that I've encountered, the Vatican is in control, and it goes back way before us. It goes back to Galileo Galilei, when he tried to tell them that the earth went around the sun. They were going to kill him if he didn't recant his statement, because that's that power. When you say something, even though you know it's a lie, you'll kill people if they go against what you say. So that proves it right there. And that's history. It ain't something that Terry Lake making up. Read and you'll see. And they got some stuff down there in the Vatican that'll blow all of our minds. But I think the Most High recognize it and will not let this be our demise because of this, evil force. And I got to call it the way it is. It's evil force. It's got things that could make things better that won't make it better. That's what all the people in the church is doing, praying for things to get better. But it's, in some cases, getting worse. So what's happening to your prayer? Your prayer should be answered if you're a righteous person. But, it's just not that way. When God created everything, God created in the beginning. Now it's up to us. God ain't going to change things because God be a weak God. If he created something in the beginning and it ain't working, it's working. We just got to make it work. He gave us everything to make it work with. And if we don't do it, it's on us. Shame on us. I'll land that point.
So I understand and appreciate what everybody is saying. I think that the Vatican may have access, or they do, because they were controlling these governments, and they're a very ruthless organization in making sure they maintain their illusion to the very end. But I still maintain that they have permission. They have permission to test us with evil, with negative energy, and I'm not putting them on a pedestal. And they may have had access to those portals, but only with the rule of order of the Most High. They can't do anything more than they are allowed to do. And I'm speaking from an experience of being exposed to a higher technology. That's why I can sit here and say I can guarantee you we can change this if we just get rid of them little divisive measures that we got brainwashed into thinking that our crap don't stink and we're better than the other people, the other humans on this planet, you know. But you know, there is some serious technology out in the universe because you have to think about where we are right now. But one thing that I will maintain, every civilization in the universe must go through what we're going through right now. And in order for you to leave this level on the mountain to go to a high level, you are going to have to demonstrate that you're worthy and to the Most High, and they will help elevate you there. You know, you got to demonstrate it with benevolence in your heart. You know, and it's as simple as that. It's not complicated. So the Vatican is going to, you know, at this point, you now got to put on your big boy and your big girl panties and your big boy drawers and man up and woman up to the reality that you got to change your ways and you got to watch this brainwashing system that's been put on you. It was done intentionally to force you to see that it's not going to work that way, but it will work with benevolence in your heart. And it's just as simple as that. So on that note, Chairman, you know, we still ask you to help support our show. We don't ask for you to do much. Just buy a copy of our book. Chairman's got a book. We got a book. We have a playbook called Lucifer's Revenge, and you can go on Amazon. Amazon has yet to pay us for any of the money, but we're going to keep pressing them. We may have to hire some attorneys to get them to stop playing games. But Chairman, tell them about your book and where they can find it.
My book titled God's Child, Philosophies and Memoirs of Life. You can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, from my website, www.godschildren.biz. And this is the book that was written to bring us all together and create a heavenly environment on earth. And it's not going to happen until we come together. So what are we waiting on? You know, read it. It don't cost but $10. You read it and it's going to expose to you and inspire you to want to make this happen. But it was written, as a saying goes, it was written for that purpose. Thank you.
All right. So all you star seeds, it's time for you. Your mission is at hand. You need to get with us. Go to uaarnation.org, sign up, send us a message. And we have your assignment. We have a playbook for you, you know, and you know what you got to do now. It's time to show up. You've been the oddball in the families. People have thought you were weird. You was the one, even as a child, asked questions about the common sense of the religions that were put on us. That's you. You're a star seed. So you need to come together, get your playbook, you know, and let's get in a position to start generating this frequency to shut these demons down. Because, you know, they know their time is up. And most of them, they're ready to go anyway. They can go on to another planet and start this bull crap all over again. But they need to get off this planet because you are now at the point where you got to get off the pot. And you got to demonstrate you are a civilized species and you're ready to join a galactic consciousness throughout the universe. Hey, on that note, hey, Junior, you guys have a final word? You want to close us out?
Yeah, no, we're going to go ahead and close out. It's 9 minutes past the hour. I think it was a good show. Hey, y'all, it's been the Straight Talk Network show. As always, we love y'all. Peace out. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Conversation piece.